So we're making this worship video for March the 14th, 2021. Keeping that in mind, then it was exactly a year ago to that date, about 6 o'clock in the evening, when phone calls and texts were going around and we were scrambling to figure out what to do because of some unfolding concerns with Leaside Wellness, the business space that the Open Table meets in for our worship gatherings. And just concerns about the use of their space because they had decided to shut down their business, and the governor had, made of Ohio had made some preliminary guidelines for businesses and for doctors' offices and hospitals. So they had cleaned everything and had sterilized it, getting ready for just what was next for them, and we decided to not meet. So it was a year ago on this date. That day we were supposed to donate items, and then following the worship gathering, or part of it at the end of it, assemble those items for lunch for Helping Hamilton Ministries, which is a ministry to people experiencing homelessness in Hamilton, Ohio. We didn't want to leave people who were hungry and in need of what we were to provide. We didn't want to leave them without food. They were counting on us. So that was another piece of why we were trying to, what we were trying to figure out. One of our board members and a member of our congregation, Kathy Mailer, jumped into gear, as Kathy does, and let us know that if we would bring the items to her in the parking lot of Leaside Wellness, that she would then assemble all of the lunches, the sandwiches and the lunches herself, and drive them to Hamilton for the handoff on our behalf. Just a few days before that, Open Table church members, and I use that word member loosely, but folks who are part of us, Penny and Randy Sesko just returned from New Orleans, sick, discovering that week they had COVID. We thought we'd be back together in just a few weeks, maybe a couple of months. And like I said, here we are, 1 year later, and we're still not. We have been through, in this time period, we have been through Palm Sunday, a Holy Week, an Easter worship gathering, celebrating graduates, Pride Month, Mother's Day and Father's Day, an entire summer, back to school, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, New Year, Ash Wednesday. We've been through all of that together and apart. Figuring out what to do to have connection and to keep our congregation feeling like we were together in this, and also to have integrity to the moment and to who we are, was not easy. We got together in safe ways and throughout that time, and we were and are being mindful and cautious as we assess the pandemic and our needed response for our own congregation members and our community, our neighbors, we would say. During this time period, over 500,000 people in our country have died of COVID-19. During this time, we have been confused as to who to listen to, and we have experienced mixed messages about how to respond individually and corporately and as states and local governments. It was many, many months of denial of the problem from our federal government, and no guidelines that were consistent, and just confusion. We've been through and watched, the whole debate about masks versus anti-maskers, whether school would be in person or virtual, whether to work in the office or in our pajamas at home. The world has been in turmoil as we watch from a distance, often our TV screens showing us pictures of protests, riots, insurrection, fear, uncertainty, a presidential election like none other. And in the chaos of it all, in the swirl is the image I get of it all, we hear these words from thousands of years ago.
The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
God, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. When you hear the word enemies, if you're like me, you immediately think of a battle of some kind. There's going to be some sort of fight. If there was ever a time I have felt embattled, it has been this time. If ever I have felt like I have enemies trying to do me harm, it is now. Now, seriously, I don't mean enemies that are actual people whose faces I can see in my mind or on a dartboard. Well, although not far from the truth. But the psalmist, in writing Psalm 23, didn't say that God would wipe the enemies off the face of the earth. There are other psalms for that, but Psalm 23 doesn't say that. It doesn't say that God will take away the battle, that God will make it all stop. In Psalm 23, we never read that the enemies were defeated. What happens is, in that one sentence I read, we get a picture of in the battle, whatever it is, the struggle, the fear, whatever. In the battle, God provides a place of rest and care. A table is spread in the midst of the moment where we're invited to sit down and enjoy a meal. This is not a fast grab and go meal, but a meal with a tablecloth, real glasses, more than one fork, food that is put in serving bowls and not left with a spoon on the stove in the pot. This is a meal that is prepared, a table set. You see, time was taken to make this moment. And right in the middle, okay, maybe at the end of COVID. But what I mean is in the midst of it. Right in the middle of the church on Zoom. Right in the middle of whatever you have dealt with. Some of you have had personal loss. Some of you have had surprising turnarounds for your life, things you weren't expecting to deal with. Right in the middle of turmoil, and within earshot of angry voices and enemies threatening to undo us, right there, God sets a table. And when we pull our chair up to it, we can rest and receive the care that comes from eating, sharing, laughing, from trust. The Lord is my shepherd. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Even in the midst of it all, the Open Table Church, for instance, has been alive and well. You've received Advent wreaths for home use at your door, ashes mailed in an envelope to your home, baptism remembrance shower tags. People have driven around the state to deliver items, and t-shirts delivered. We've provided help for those experiencing homelessness. Helping Hamilton, we've done that through Maslow's Army in downtown Cincinnati. We have done that through Interfaith Hospitality Network. You have held a fill the truck drive with New Life Furniture, which we filled 3/4 of it. You've reached out to neighbors with love packages. You've collected thousands of items for local food pantries. You fill the community cupboard. You provide care packages to the respiratory team at the University of Cincinnati Hospital at Westchester. You've written notes to nursing home residents. You've sent care messages to COVID patients in hospitals. Many of you have even marched in Black Lives Matter march in Mason. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil, for you walk with me. Whatever it is that you have felt embattled by personally, you have your own stories of a prepared table. God hasn't made enemies go away. Like difficult times, they still show up. They show up at the threshold of your life and ring the bell. Sometimes they just knock the door down. God didn't even say invite the enemies to sit down at the table. The Psalm says, in their presence a table was prepared. Actually, it was Jesus who later would say to make a place at the table for your enemies. But again, that is not what the Psalm is talking about. It says, in the presence of the crap, there is this awesome rest and nurturing and renewal. So right now, we remember this year. And we know we have been changed. And we give thanks that in the midst of it all, God is right here. That is our hope. That is our message from Psalm 23 that we cling to.
Valley of the shadow of death, your perfect love is casting out fear. Even though I'm caught in the middle of the storms of this life, I won't give up, I know you are near. I would fear no evil, for my God is with me. And if my God is with me, whom then shall I fear? Whom then shall I fear? Oh no, never let go, through the calm and through the storm. Oh no, never let go, in every high and every low. Oh no, never let go, Lord, never let go of me. They say that there's a light that is coming for the heart that holds on, a glorious light beyond all compare. There will be an end to these troubles, and until that day comes, we're trying to find you here on the earth.
Dear God, thank you that you are our good shepherd, and we can trust you with our lives. Thank you for your direction and freedom. Thank you for your guidance and care in all our days. Thank you that you restore our souls, give us peace, and bring us hope in all of our tomorrows. Thank you for your protection and strength that surrounds us. Thank you for your comfort when we are afraid. Thank you for your goodness and love that follows after us, chases us, even when we are unaware. Thank you, Lord, that you are trustworthy and able, that you are our refuge and hope. In you alone is rest and peace. We praise you for the assurance that we will dwell with you forever.
And I would fear no evil, for my God is with me. And if my God is with me, whom then shall I fear? Whom then shall I fear? Oh no, never let go, through the calm and through the storm. Oh no, never let go, in every high and every low. Oh no, never let go, Lord, never let go of me. I can see a light that is coming for this heart that holds on. I hope that there's an end to these troubles, but until that day comes, still I will praise you, still I will praise you.